basics of contracts. Contracts are, let's get it right out of the way. They don't necessarily have to be one formalized document that's in front of you, right? They can be oral contracts. It can be stuff that was written in email communications. It all boils down to this meeting of the minds that both of you have agreed on something very specific. For in this instance, you guys are wanting to get them booked for a wedding or a newborn session. Within that, there are some other legal requirements you need to have. They have to be old enough. They have to have the capacity to do so. You're offering to shoot their wedding. They're accepting, or they're offering to pay you X, Y, and Z, and you're accepting. All of this has to happen, but it doesn't necessarily have to be in one formal document. That is optimal, that is best, and that will make my job easier should we ever need to have to sort through and figure out what you guys had agreed to. But having everything, and I don't really feel like I need to beat this. A lot of you guys are looking at me like, okay, I get it. Having it all in one place also eliminates potential miscommunications. The majority of legal issues that come in my inbox these days don't really happen from one big thing. They happen from a lot of little things along the way that arose out of what? Miscommunication or missed expectations. And that's even sometimes when people have had a contract. So just because you had one doesn't mean it's going to completely deter or prevent any issues from happening, but it can reduce the probability of you thinking you're going to get every single image I shoot at your wedding. Me in the contract can say, I'm only going to provide you up to this amount, right? It sets the expectations, the delivery timeline, and we're going to get into all of this. But just keep in mind, it doesn't have to be that one formalized document, but I really do strongly recommend that you guys do have one at the very beginning of the process, before you shoot, before you do anything, because there's problems riddled if you try to come back later on after the entire session and then you try to get people to sign things, then there's problems. One of the other things, this isn't necessarily a requirement, it's a quasi-requirement. They do have to understand what's in the contract. They have to understand what they're agreeing to. That's one of the legal requirements to a valid contract. But you also don't want to trick your clients into signing one. I've seen people who want to title it something fun so that, we're creatives, we should be fun through the whole process, or just kind of slip it into an email, or you want your clients to know that they're agreeing to a legal document as well, because that's one of the requirements to have a valid document. But at the same time, too, you need them to understand that you're serious, you're a professional. If you have people always tell me, photographers specifically, oh, I don't want to deal with the contracts mess. Most of the time it's because they don't understand it, which is why you guys are here, because we're going to pick through that all, but because they're afraid how the clients are going to push back. By sticking it into your workflow and just presenting it the way that I just presented it to you guys, this is here for customer service. This is here to protect you and set expectations. Any client that's worth having isn't going to balk at that. If they balk at that, I'm glad they told you guys that at the very beginning, because then there are probably more than likely going to be problems through the rest of the entire process, and you're going to spend more time, money, and mind space on them than is worth it.